So we have learned that LeBron James is putting the pressure on the Laker brass to include a 2029 first-round pick to complete a trade to get Kyrie out of New York and into La La Land. So they are fighting over a 2029 draft pick. Now, the front office is said to be balking at that. LeBron doesn't care about the Lakers' draft future, and he says make the deal. He would like them to get his new BFF, who used to be somebody he was at loggerheads with, Kyrie, but now they made up. Everything's great. They've smoked the peace pipe, and now LeBron wants Kyrie as a teammate, and he is annoyed that the Lakers are not interested. So let us discuss the question. LeBron James putting the pressure on the Lakers to trade a first-round pick that they don't want to give up. Is that fair or foul? So I'm actually going to go fair ball. All right, I'm going fair ball on this one. I've got Jay-Z, Morse code, Vanisher, and we'll combine all of these things together. Now, number one. If you listen to the overnight show and you've been with me for a while, you know that we like to goof on LeBron James. It's a cottage industry. It's low-hanging fruit, the most delicious. LeBron does so many things that open himself up to be a punching bag, and it goes with the territory. However, this is the rare and appropriate exception to the rule. We actually agree with King James' position this time. We don't have a dog in the fight, but LeBron, he shouldn't be concerned about the 2029 NBA draft. He's following the wisdom of Jay-Z. LeBron's humming a few bars. He's like, yes, I got 99 problems, but a future first-round pick ain't one. Last season was indignity. It was shame. In a sport where everyone gets in who tries, they get in the playoffs. LeBron's team did not. And now that's the second time since he came to L.A. that he has failed to make the postseason. He's also been bumped in the first round of the playoffs. It's embarrassing. It's the worst run of LeBron's career right now. This is the worst. No legitimate championships. The Mickey Mouse ring in Orlando. Nobody takes that seriously. So when the 2029 draft comes around, the reason we agree with LeBron will be 44 years old. He ain't playing in the NBA at age 44. So he'll be the owner of some team, maybe the Vegas expansion franchise. And to rephrase this, LeBron is a fan of Les Snead. F them picks. F them picks, right? He even said as much about the Ram GM, the battle plan, that Les Snead was his kind of guy, and we are in lockstep. Absolutely. Now, secondly, how much tension is there? Now, I'm talking legitimate tension. How much tension is there between LeBron and the Laker brass? So from what we're hearing, it is legitimate. It's not fake. It's not phony. It's dicey. The Lakers have handed over the keys to the kingdom to LeBron, and as a result, they didn't read the fine print there at the bottom, but they're pretty much at his mercy. What LeBron wants, LeBron gets. LeBron wanted Russell Westbrook last year, so he got him. And this year, LeBron wants Kyrie Irving. And come hell or high water, he's going to get him. And so the other problem is they also know that LeBron is near the end of the rainbow, and there's not a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. And so we've got a very public look at the private squabble. Recently, although not many were paying attention, we were, because we're losers and we worked over 4th of July weekend, but heading into the 4th of July, Jeannie Buss spoke in Morse code. That's right. She used Morse code. She showed gratitude. Remember this? She showed gratitude to Kobe Bryant over the 4th of July weekend. And now we use our decoder ring. I got this years ago in a Cracker Jack box, and because I still have it, I am able to untangle the meaning of the Morse code. And what Jeannie Buss did, that was a passive-aggressive, coded way of taking a shot at LeBron James. And it was, of course, masked with makeup and camouflage as a love note to the late Kobe Bryant. But in reality, the Laker owner was merely venting. So frustrated and resentful she is of LeBron, and essentially saying, Kobe would have never done this, even though Kobe several times came this close to leaving the Lakers. The most famous one when he had a deal with the Clippers and had essentially a done deal to go to the Clippers, and then the very last minute changed his mind. But that's a different conversation. So this adds an extra layer of frosting to the cake. Now, the cake is shipped like a palace. You see, this is actually palace intrigue, is what this is. All right, final point. So would Kyrie Irving put the Lakers back into contention? These nonstop talking heads, all kinds of hot takes bouncing around the echo chamber, the pinball machine, all over the place. Now, Kyrie, here's what Kyrie would do. He would put the Lakers back in the playoffs, but they'd be a first round and out type of team. That's as far as I can go. And the reason, it's the problem that you can't get past. Kyrie Irving is not a trustworthy player. He's the type of employee that drives his coworkers crazy. We all have people, whatever your job is. I work in radio. I know people like this. Whatever you do, there's always somebody at every job who's like this. We call them the vanisher. Kyrie's a vanisher. The vanisher is someone that lets you down. Okay, what does that mean? Forcing the other employees to pick up the slack. If Kyrie was working a regular job, he would be the guy who takes the 2-hour lunches. And on break, instead of a 15-minute break, it's an hour and a half break. You get what I'm selling here? Now, Irving is also the same person who would call in sick on the day of a big project. Hey, you got to show up and all that stuff and big meeting. No. And so as the vanisher, he's not alone in that. The Lakers core are playing cards. It's a house of cards. You've got Anthony Davis, who's undependable. Even LeBron, as he ages, is regularly absent. He's an absentee star. He's missed 27 games his first season in L.A. And over the last 2 years combined, he's missed 53 games. You do the math on that, MALLER math, that's 80 games in a regular NBA season. How many games do they play? Ding, 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 ding. That's right, 82 games. So that means LeBron has missed almost an entire season of regular season games, some of it load management, some of it legitimate injury, some of it LeBron's so embarrassed because the Lakers were out of contention, he just sat out. But you do the arithmetic and you put them all together, right? Put them all together, what do you get? You've got 3 guys who zap productivity and put more pressure on the other players, the other employees there. And so even getting Kyrie would not lead to the promised land. But it certainly would help talk radio. Instead of goofing on Russell Westbrook or Westbrick, we can goof on Uncle Drew.